Welcome back, everybody. Gonzalez Brothers Entertainment. It's New Year's Eve, so I figured it's the perfect time to drop my top ranked films of 2017. I'll try to avoid spoilers, but a couple might slip in here or there. Fair warning. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get on to the good stuff. Number 5, Logan. And I feel what this movie did best was to bring Logan and Xavier, two larger-than-life superpowered beings, and really made them human. It splashed them with a touch of reality, and to see them go through normal human things at times was amazing, also heartbreaking. And I can't forget about X-23. She delivered such an awesome murderous role at times. I know she didn't have a ton of dialogue, but Daisy King really plays this role really well. But the best thing that I love most about this film is that Logan has spent all of his life avoiding becoming the weapon they made him to be, and in this movie he becomes that weapon, but it's not for destructive ends. It's that for X-23 and the other young mutants to have a chance at survival, and I think they really closed out this Logan Hugh Jackman version of the Wolverine really well. Number 4, Baby Driver. This was my number 1 movie of the summer. It did drop slightly after rewatching it, but it's still a really good film overall. The way they use the music, they make it seem like it's an actual character in the film. I like how this movie combines everything from action to comedy to a little love story, and it all brings it in together very well, and it's a super enjoyable mid-budget type of movie. If you haven't seen this, I recommend it still. Go check this out. Number 3, Dunkirk. This jumped up from number 2 to number 1 for the summer, at least on rewatch. Everything is still so intense, and that score really grabs you from the first scene, and it's a constant throughout the film, and it really brings up the tension. And the way that Christopher Nolan chose to tell this story out of sequence, where it takes place on 3 different locations in 3 different time periods, is awesome. And I still like that there is no real central character. To me, the historical event is what takes center stage here. And also, as a soldier, you don't always get recognition. Sometimes you make the ultimate sacrifice and you fight and you bleed out on these beaches and give up your life, and you're not always going to be recognized in the history books. You don't always get a mention of a page of your own. And I think that's what Christopher Nolan was trying to push across with this movie, and I think he did that really well. Number 2, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Look, I understand why some people didn't like this. It took everything we knew about the Star Wars universe and killed it, buried it, like Kylo Ren says. But if the Star Wars universe is going to move forward, I think that we need to start looking at some new things and stop clinging on to the past. Because if they're going to expand this thing and do a movie every year, to do the same thing over and over and over again is going to get repetitive and boring. And on the first watch, I really struggled with what the choices that were made with the Luke character, but on the second time I watched it, I really understood why he's there, why he got to that point of his life, why he's so secluded, why he's reluctant to get back into the universe. It all made a lot more sense to me, and that final sequence where we get the conclusion to his arc is so awesome. And even after watching it a second time, it doesn't take away from the impact, from the emotional impact that you get from watching that sequence. So, Last Jedi, number 2 movie of the year. The moment you have all been waiting for. And to be honest, I thought this would be The Last Jedi. It turns out not to be the case. So, without further ado, my number 1 movie of 2017 is Coco. Leading up to this movie, I was not excited to go and watch it. I didn't really get caught up in much of the promo stuff. It wasn't until the second to last trailer that I started thinking to myself, hey, maybe this could be something. Maybe I should give it a chance. And walking in and sitting down, I was not ready for what I was about to experience. It really caught me early on, from the music and all the different themes. It deals with family. It deals with tradition. It deals with trying to find your own place. in the world while still existing within a family structure. And it's also about forgiveness and how deep down we all want to be remembered, whether we want to admit it to ourselves or not. That type of stuff matters. So I gotta give a lot of credit to the producers, the directors, the writers for really taking the time to research and get all the details down for Dia de los Muertos and representing Mexican culture so well. This movie felt like representation and not appropriation, and I appreciate that so much. I love this film a lot. I cannot wait to own it and rewatch it, most likely by myself, because a lot of those scenes I found it very difficult to keep my composure. It really touched me on an emotional level that I thought no movie could ever do, and this film succeeded in more ways than one. So for that reason, Coco is my number one movie of 2017. So there you go, guys. That's my list. This is our last video of 2017. We'll be back in a couple of days with some bigger, better, cooler, all the adjectives here, content. We're going to try to make 2018 better than what we did this previous year. I'd like to thank everybody for your support, for your subscriptions, for everything. When we started out in June, we were at 8. We're now at 61. So for everyone who watched our videos, we appreciate it. And this is GB saying Happy New Year and